What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday, and it's time for another episode of Standing Out. Let's go. What's up, everybody, and good morning. It is Tuesday, and I'm Trey Griggs with Beta Consulting Group, and you're here for another episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. And we got a phenomenal show today. I cannot wait to bring on today's guest. But you know what? We have phenomenal shows every day here on Standing Out. The entire lineup this week has just been fire. Yesterday, had a phenomenal conversation with Brian Curie of Killer Bee Strategies. If you missed that one, you got to go back and listen to it about virtual reality and marketing and what we're going to be doing in the future. Today, Lindsey Graves is going to be on in just a minute. Tomorrow, my friend Jeff Dickinson, he's a character. He's going to be on. You don't want to miss that one. My good friend Greg Roberts on Thursday from Matson Logistics, talking about what he's doing up there in Chicago. And on Friday from Heartland Logistics Group, John Kuhlman, who I got to tell you what, his team raves about him. Can't wait to have him on the show on Friday. It's just an incredible week of shows all week. But before we do that, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, the TAFs, of the good guys in freight factoring, helping carriers and owner operators keep those wheels turning. We appreciate so much, drivers, what you're doing. It is Driver Appreciation Month, but here on Standing Out, it's Driver Appreciation every day of the year. So we thank you for what you're doing, the sacrifices that you're making to make sure the economy keeps moving, and that we have all the things that we need. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for your sacrifices. Back to TAFs. Make sure you check them out at tafs.com and let them know that Trey sent you. Or even easier, you can just click on the link that's going to be in the comments today that Ruth's going to put in there. That'll take you right to my landing page so they know that I sent you, so I can get some credit, folks. I need credit for this stuff. So click on the link, get started with them, and see how they're going to help you keep those wheels turning. Freight brokers, you can become referral partners as well and help your carriers have all the resources they need as well. So check them out at tafs.com. Also, when you get a chance and you're online doing that, check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com. We're about to revamp the website. We'd love to hear your feedback on that. We're going to do some cool stuff. That was the initial website when we got started. Time to upgrade and do some cool stuff. Plus, we'd love to help you tell your stories to your people, to your team, to your prospects, to your clients. That's what we do. We're brand specialists, helping you tell your stories and move out of the realm of obscurity into becoming a well-known brand. So fill out a form, click on some of those links, and we would love to work with you. It's going to be awesome. And finally, everybody, just a shout out to the people who are sporting the swag out there. Check us out at our swag store, pick up some merch. We're forming a community of people that are pursuing excellence every day. When you see that Standing Out logo, I want you to pursue excellence that day. Got a lot of cool stuff at the store. And it's September, y'all, which means that it is Chiefs month. I'm a Chiefs fan, and they're dominating September like always. So use the coupon code GOCHIEFS to get 25% off of your entire order. All right, we got a great show today. Can't wait to bring on our guest today, who I've known for quite a while now. I think I've known her for about almost 10 years, maybe 8 years, somewhere along those lines, and just always been impressed so much by her leadership, by her team. You can always tell the quality of a leader by the people around them and the team that they form, and her team at Sunset Transportation is second to none. So please welcome to the show my good friend, the CEO of Sunset Transportation, Lindsey Graves. Lindsey, what's up? How are you doing?
Hey, Trey. Thanks so much for having me today. I'm excited to be
know.
here.
It's so good to have you. It has been a while, my friend. We need to catch up more often, but it is so good to see you. How was everything at Sunset?
Everything's great. We're crazy busy, growing like crazy, and having a good time.
I think that's been the response every time I ask you that for the last 8 years. Is how are
I
things
know.
going at Sunset? They're going great. We're growing, and
Yeah.
things are crazy busy. But I have to say, your team is absolutely phenomenal. Before we get into that, though, just give everybody a quick 30 seconds of who you are and what you guys are doing at Sunset.
Sounds good. So I'm Lindsey Graves. I am the majority owner and CEO and president of Sunset Transportation. We are a 30-plus-year-old third-party logistics company based out of St. Louis, Missouri. We have 5 branch offices across the country. We also have agent offices. We do van, LTL, truckload, LTL, freight audit and payment, which makes us a little unique. We also have an international division. We are really just focused on our growth and continuous improvement mindset. That's what we do here. We are our worst, we are our own competitor.
Yeah, well, we have so much to talk about today, but I want to
Yeah,
start back with the origins of Sunset Transportation. This is a
sure.
family-owned company. Talk about how it got started and what it was like growing up watching your dad start Sunset Transportation.
Yeah, so my dad actually started Sunset in the basement of his home by accident.
As
He
many brokerages do. So,
Yes,
it's a great
exactly.
story.
Exactly. And, all growing up, I remember being little and just hearing the phone ring really early in the morning and having no clue what he did, but just knew he was always on the phone. And, my dad actually, he was in business with his family and they had a falling out before he started his brokerage. So I always had bad energy when it related to a family
Mm,
business. So I never thought I wanted to work for my dad. So I did my own thing. I went away to college, came home from college with a marketing degree. And my dad said, "Hey, while you're looking for a job, you want to come in and start doing some billing for us? We have a part time position." And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I came in, and the next thing I knew, I was like, "Why are we doing this? What is this? How come this isn't, how can we fix this?" And before I knew it, I was then tracking and tracing and then covering loads. And then from there went on to our marketing department, managing our agents, and then managing our branch offices. And now here I am.
You
So
got in neck deep early.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
in pretty quick. So, what was it about the business that really attracted you to it? What'd you like about it so much? Was it this business in particular? Was it just business in general? Like, what was it that
It
really
was the
pulled you in?
people. It was the people. I mean, from day one, being a family company, coming into the office, my dad, my cousin worked here at Sunset. My aunt was our accountant. So it was coming in and spending time with family, and everyone in the company was treated like family. So it was just a great group to be around. And I think, over the years, I've worked really hard to maintain that culture because people enjoy coming to work to be with their family.
Yeah, and how many people were there at the time when you first started?
Oh my
The
gosh,
first billing.
probably less than 20.
Okay, and
Yeah,
now today you have how many?
220.
Yeah, so slightly larger,
Yeah.
slightly larger family to
Yeah.
oversee. Did you ever imagine that you would someday take over the company? When did as you were working with your dad and as you were learning the business, at what point did you realize maybe I could lead this? Maybe I could do that.
I've thought back and it never crossed my mind. Like it's always just something that's naturally progressed and happened. I haven't had to fight for it. I haven't had to, it's just become very natural that I've been able to be seen as a leader. And so it was a natural progression for me in my career. So,
Well, and I think if you look back at the story you just told and my history knowing you, wherever you've been, you have acted like a leader, even without the title. And I think that's one of the lessons that especially younger people in the industry can take
yeah.
from that is you took initiative from the beginning to improve processes, to ask
Mhm.
questions, to see how it can get better. Now, yeah, it may have been easier in a family business to do that, but
Yeah.
the principle still applies. To be a leader where you are, and then naturally you get those opportunities to continue leading in bigger ways. Talk a little bit about where you learned, like where did that come from? Your family structure, all of that. Where did that come from? The idea that I want to lead and I want to help make things better.
Oh gosh, where does that really come from? I think that sometimes that's just your internal drive. I was always, I've always been very meticulous and, a perfectionist. And I think that's a little bit of it. I don't really think I understood that I was process oriented until later on in my career. But I think, that was something that was my internal drive. And then I think, once I joined the company 16 years ago, my dad actually took me to my first TIA conference. And I know that at the TIA, there's so much exposure there to people and to the different classes. I think that really opened to my eyes to, wow, I can apply some of this and I have the ability to apply some of this. And, that outside experience, I think, has really helped continue to help us, improve.
Yeah, well, and certainly kudos to your parents who raised a wonderful child who,
Well,
is
thank
very
you.
responsible. You've done a great job with that. And how have you been able to maintain the culture? Because, I've been around Sunset since about 2014,
Yep.
2013. I think I was their DAT rep way back in the day
Yep.
with load board and rate services and things like that. And so I've seen the company through some of this growth. I think you're probably closer to like maybe 85, 90, 100 people back then,
Yep.
something around those. So I've seen it grow, but what I've also seen is that maintain of the maintenance, I guess, or the continuation of the culture.
Mhm.
Your people are absolutely phenomenal. And when I come to Sunset, even now, and I haven't been there very long, I feel like family. And the people that I meet, you feel like family. It's very unique. How to be able to maintain that with 220 people?
It's been hard. I'm not going to lie. It isn't something that is easy. You have to work at it. And that is what I do every single day. I call myself the keeper of the culture. That is my biggest job, to make sure that everyone in the organization, not just people in St. Louis, but people at our branches and our agent offices, all feel part of Sunset and part of the family. So, it's everything from hosting a Raving Fans luncheon. There's a book called Raving Fans that my dad, he implemented from day one. He has every new employee read. And it's about the level of customer service that we want to provide to our customers. And I host a luncheon with all new employees to get to know them and try and build a connection from day one with them. And then to also implement the level of service that we expect around Sunset. So that's just one example. There's always the lunches, there's always the happy hours, that's the easy stuff. But, really investing in our core values and what makes us who we are, and rewarding those core values for when they're displayed across the company. That's another example of how we build that, core value of family into our culture.
Yeah, and it really needs to become a part of the DNA of
Yep.
the company. It can't be just a mission statement on a
You
website
got
or
it.
a vision statement there. It really has to be what people live and believe. Do you think if you went to any employer right now, they could like list off your core values or list off your
Oh
mission
yeah,
vision statement? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
that's so important. I think so many times, leaders especially, but companies miss out on taking
Mhm.
those things, thinking through them very intentionally, but then utilizing them to galvanize everybody towards a common purpose and a mission and a goal. And again, I'm not surprised to hear you say that. Again, anybody who walks in the doors at Sunset Transportation would feel that. It's a unique culture and it's really, really special. So kudos to you on
Thank
continuing to
you.
maintain that. That's just awesome to hear. I want to ask you this question though, because as a CEO, you're very candid. You're very willing to be vulnerable. I love
Mhm.
that about you.
Yep.
Just put it out there. What have been some of the most challenging aspects of being a CEO?
Being the CEO. Oh my goodness, my lights just went off. Sorry about that. One sec.
No worries, no worries. This is what happens when you go live, folks. You just never know what's going to happen. You're going to
You
have
know
to
what?
wave your arm.
That is
You
a
have to wave
perfect
your arms in the air, right? And
right.
get it back next time.
That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about as far as being vulnerable. I think not realizing your title and what that means to people, I think that can be a little scary. And I have to remember sometimes that's my title, and I'm not, but I don't think of myself as the CEO. So, I joke around with people and whatever. And, if I've done something, and I don't have a good example off the top of my head, but, I've heard through people before, oh my gosh, she just scared the crap out of me, or, stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to be self-aware of like what your title is and what you do, but at the same time, there's just these challenges that we talked about a little bit offline. Like it's harder to have great relationships with every person in Sunset compared to what you did when you first started, where there were 20 people. It's easier to have more of a village there and know everybody. And I know that's frustrating for you because you value people so much. What have been some of the other challenges that you walked in and said, "Oh man, I didn't realize this it was going to be like this," or I didn't know this was coming. Is there anything that stands out that's been really difficult for you?
I really think you nailed it, though. Not knowing everyone, that's been really hard for me. I want to know every team member. I want to know them personally. That's part of that family culture. So as we've grown, 220 people, it is so difficult when we're hiring, 4 people at least at the minimum a week. It's so hard to know everybody personally. And that really tugs at my heartstrings, but I'm working hard to do the best I can. I don't know, nothing else that sticks out to me right away. It's just, the challenges of when to grow, where to grow, who to hire, just those building blocks of, building a good infrastructure of a company to support, the team that you have. That's, I think, one of my biggest challenges and where I'm very involved, hiring strategic roles to support the business. That's been a challenge. Um, Nothing else that I can think of right off the top of my
I'm
head.
sure 5 things will pop up maybe after the podcast today, right?
Right?
That's kind of how it works. Let me
Yeah,
ask you this question though, because as you go from being somebody who is intricately involved with each employee to now being more intricately involved with the management team, what's that transition been like to transfer or to make sure that those values are true with your leadership team, so that maybe you don't know everybody, but everybody in Sunset is known. How has
exactly.
that transition been to develop your management team?
Well, developing your management team is extremely important. We put a ton of emphasis on development of the second and third string, because they are your next generation of leadership. There's no question around this organization of, that person's going to try and take my job. That's seen as is that everyone has an opportunity here, and that by investing in that time and the what we do to develop those layers, that's important for our growth. So we're doing training with the next generation, which is the supervisors and managers of the organization. We're doing monthly training with them on different leadership topics. We're investing in speakers to come in on various topics. We're doing all we can to show that they are important and they are, needed around here. So,
Yeah, I love that. And I think intentional leadership is one area that a lot of companies overlook because it's hard and it takes time and it's an investment of resources that you
yep.
might not see a direct return on. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why it's hard to throw resources that way. But I love when companies say, you know what, this is actually the most important thing that we can do.
Yep.
This is the one thing that we can't sacrifice on. And the fact that you guys are doing that is awesome. And you also you've given some latitude to some of your team members, and you guys implemented an internship program. I think it was last summer or this summer. Which summer was the first summer you guys really started to
Last
really
summer.
invest?
Yeah.
Last summer.
So
Okay.
this was our second year.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think you had like 15 or 20
20.
interns. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
20 this year. Yeah, and it
Yep.
was just an amazing group. I had the privilege of speaking to them at the end of the year, which was so cool.
Yep.
Appreciate John lining that up. John Sutton. What is his role? I don't even know what his title is. He's everything.
Director of corporate
Just
support.
he
He
does
basically
everything.
does everything.
I
Yeah.
know he's had several jobs, but he lined that up, and I enjoyed that. But it was neat to see that too, because that's just investing in the next generation,
Mm-hmm.
and giving these college kids a chance to see what it's like in logistics, which is a great industry. It's an awesome industry. So where did that idea come from? Of let's have an internship program, and how has that been?
I would highly, highly recommend to anybody listening today to really consider an internship program, because the job market is not easy. We all know this. It is difficult to hire and retain people these days. And talent coming out of college there's still plenty of kids coming out of school, and they still have the learning mindset. That's what they've been conditioned for the past 4 years. And so they come out of school or in school still ready to learn. And they're a sponge, and it's your opportunity to instill on them what you want. So it's just been a huge opportunity. We call it the Farm Club, to build on the Farm Club and to shape and mold people the way we want. And they become true sunsetters from day one.
Yeah, and they get to experience the culture and see what it's like and feel part of the family,
Yep.
and get connected. And it's such just a great feeder program to provide, really great talent for your organization. And I love the fact that you guys are doing that. And again, just investing in people.
Yep.
It's just clear that this is really important to you, Lindsey. And I absolutely love that, which is
Yep.
so cool. All right, we're going to transition for a quick second. So every day is a national day, it seems like. So what we've done is we've added a new segment on the show where we talk about the national day of whatever it is. Do you know what today is?
Oh gosh, I'm fired. No, what is today?
I wouldn't know either. It's National Punch Day,
Okay,
and
I
it
feel
does,
better.
and it's not like physical violence punch. It's like party punch. Like
Okay.
that. Are you a punch drinker? Do you like punch?
I mean, I like a good spiked punch.
See, it's interesting. I don't drink alcohol. It's just whatever for whatever
No, you're
reasons I
fine.
don't. So punch is kind of like not big on it because it's really just juice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like some sort of fruity juice. I'm not a fruity kind of drinker kind of thing. So I'm not a punch guy, but if it's not spiked, I will try it. I'll have it. I always think back to this punch is kind of an old era, right? It's like we don't see punch around much anymore. You go to a party, there's not like a punch bowl. It's probably not sanitary to have that actually
Oh
anymore.
my gosh, this is
But back in
funny.
the day, thinking at high school dances back in the 50s and 60s, the punch bowl, and they'd spike it. So it's National Punch Day. I don't know. What's your favorite flavor of punch? Do you have? Yep. You like? Oh,
Fruit
fruity.
punch. Definitely
Just a
fruit punch.
just a fruit punch. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fruit punch is legit. I could do fruit punch. That's true.
Right?
So yeah,
Why
National
not?
Punch Day, everybody. Go out and get some fruit punch today and enjoy. So it'll be fun. All right, so Lindsay, I want to talk about you have made an emphasis in your career to promote and to highlight and to encourage women in our industry, especially as a leader of a company. We're seeing growth in that demographic. We're seeing more women get involved with supply chain, which is awesome. In fact, the most recent stat for drivers I saw was 13%, which that's up because it was about 10 or 11. So
Okay.
that's growing as well. I think in supply chain overall, it's around 35% of women that are involved. Talk about why that has been such an important factor for you to make sure that your voice is heard and that you are promoting and pushing the envelope when it comes to encouraging women to get in the industry, to grow in the industry and become into leadership and those types of things.
Well, I, have three children, three young girls, and I know that I'm career motivated, but I also know I want to be a good mother. So I know that both can exist together. And I want to provide an environment where that can happen. I think COVID has really helped a lot of companies, not just our industry, to push forward flexibility in the workplace. But I think, that flexibility in our business where freight is moving 24/7, not just, during the workday, has allowed more women to be able to feel like they can get into our industry. I don't know if that totally makes sense, but I feel like, the flexible work life promotes the ability for more women to feel like they're capable of being part of that an organization. So I really just try and provide a work-life balance that I would want to have at Sunset. And I think that's also translated a lot across our industry. So,
Yeah, I think that's too. And just having your voice involved and working with other females in the industry that are doing the same thing. Our friend Christy Knischel at Kinchel
yep,
Logistics, and Nicole Kander and so many others that are doing that. I think it's awesome. I'm a dad of two girls, so
yep,
I look at it from the perspective of, hey, I want to make sure that the opportunities are there
yeah,
when my girls get to be there
yeah,
for them to participate in such an incredible industry like this. And I think the flexibility has helped in many ways across the board, both for moms and dads
yeah,
to
sure,
like that flexibility, because it's like there's always a sacrifice, there's always a give and take, and it's nice that there's a little bit of flexibility to say, hey, I want to work from home a little bit potentially, or I want to be here when the kid gets off the bus, or I want to be at all their games.
yep,
I feel like before COVID, that was just so difficult. It almost felt bad asking off to go to a kid's
mhm,
event, where I think that that's so important to have that balance. Like you said, freight does move 24/7. So there could be things you need to do at 9 o'clock at night. And if
you
you get the
got it.
chance to be with your kid at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock for some things, and then jump back on and do something at 9, it provides both the opportunity to have an impact at work, but also the opportunity to really be engaged at home
Yep,
and to be there. And I think that the drive time too, I keep thinking about this, like how much time were people losing from family time just in drive time,
yeah,
you know? So if somebody lived out in Wentzville, for example, from Sunset, they might want to work 3 days a week from home, and
yep,
that might not be too bad for
yep.
them because they can be home more often. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. What kind of led you? What got you into? Was it I'm sure it's probably TIA a little bit. What were some things that got you into saying, hey, I can use my voice to make an impact?
I think the TIA, that was one. In the McLeod Users Conference, any McLeod conferences, really the more I got asked to speak, the more I was like, wow, okay, I have a voice here. I remember 16 years ago going to my first TIA conference, walking the halls and being the youngest and the only female, one of the only female. It's incredible. Now I walk the halls and it is so diverse. It's so amazing. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, it
So,
really is. And it's trade show season coming up as we're talking today. We got McLeod User Conference coming up here next week.
yep.
We got TIA coming up in October, the Technovations event. We got Freightwaves down there. Talking to me a little bit about the value of being a part of these organizations and attending these events. Because I know some people, especially now or COVID, they're rethinking their strategy in terms of
Mhm.
going to events. What's your take on that?
Oh my gosh, they're so important. You just can't even put a dollar amount on the value on the networking, the connections that you make, the little nuggets that you take home. Um, our industry is so friendly. They're really are not, they're not competitors. I've just been so surprised with the amount of information people are willing to share
Mhm.
about their business and how much you can learn from each other. And I think that's so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some people who take the competition route, but I think they're actually outliers. There's so much collaboration in the industry and people
Yes.
that want to help other people succeed. It's unique and it's wonderful, and it is nice to see the demographics that are changing a little bit. But I agree with you. Like being at events in person is so powerful,
Yeah.
and worth every penny to go to those things. I'm hoping that people. In fact, I heard some people say this in the spring that they felt like these events were actually more valuable now
Oh, yeah.
than they were before because you lose that touch. And so it's
Hmm.
exciting. You guys are going to McLeod coming up. You're going to
Yep.
TIA. You're going to be at some of those as well, which is
Yep.
awesome. Are you going to be doing any speaking coming up soon? Anything on the agenda for you?
I have decided to start passing the torch a little bit. John is doing a lot of speaking now, and I think it's amazing for him. There's a lot of very strong, capable people coming up behind me, and I want them to have their opportunity. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to pass the torch as I
That
can.
is that is so on brand for Lindsey Graves. I'm just gonna say that is so on brand for you. How remind me again, how old are your girls again?
8, 8, and 11.
And that's in that age, man. That's like starting to get busy.
Yeah, it is.
Starting
I say they're small, but they're really not small anymore. They're big girls. They're very capable, but they do keep us busy.
they can make their own dinners now, and they've got their sporting events or music, whatever they're going to do, and
Yeah,
starts to really get busy. And those are precious moments too. My girls are 14 and 12 now, which is hard to believe.
which is
And
crazy.
I keep thinking to myself, I got 4 years, 6 years, and then they could be. I mean, I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows what they're going to be? It's like the unknown, and it's crazy. Like I'm counting down the days already. So I'm excited that you get to be fully invested, of course, in Sunset, what you're doing there, but also being a mom and what you're doing. It's just amazing. We do have one more segment that we have to tackle real quick, Lindsay. That's called the random question of the day. Now, listen,
All right.
I don't even this question is so random. I don't even know what it is. All right, our producer picks it out. Again, it could be funny, it could be serious, it could be a good question, it could be a terrible question. I have no idea. All right, let's go ahead and throw it up. The random question is: do you like pineapple on your pizza? This is an easy one. Okay, do you like pineapple on your pizza? This is a yes or no.
It's a yes or no?
Oh, I
No.
mean, yeah. So
No.
no pineapple on the pizza.
No
Okay.
pineapple on the pizza.
How about any fruit? Any fruit on pizza?
No, I'm boring. I love pepperoni. Keep it plain, keep it basic.
Keep it simple. You have
How
to
about
make any
you?
decisions. So I do like pineapple on the pizza.
Okay.
I like anything on pizza. I like cheeseburger pizza, taco pizza, barbecue chicken pizza, Hawaiian pizza, of course. I mean, I'll take it any way. I mean, I can have pizza every day, every meal if I had to. I really could. It's
Pizza
so
with
good.
your pizza, huh?
I totally could, totally could. So I'm a fan of pineapple. I don't necessarily crave it, but if it there it goes again, wave away the
Trey.
arms. This is
Brand new podcast room, guys. Thanks
it's
for being
exciting.
patient here. Now I know what I need to fix.
Well, and the wall is great. Yeah, you definitely need to not have a motion light on the podcast room. We'll just say that.
Right?
That's going to be the next thing we need to work on. Okay, so you like pepperoni on the pizza.
Yeah.
Anything else? Are you meat lover, supreme, just pepperoni?
I actually even like just cheese. I am boring.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
I
is
know.
super plain.
I
Wow. Okay.
know.
All right. So margarita pizza, you're good. There's nothing on
Yeah.
it, just sauce and cheese, and you're like, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. I got to have a little something on the top. So it's just the way it is. But that's an easy question today. That was pretty simple. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, what's on the horizon for Sunset? What's coming up? What's good? Where are you guys headed?
Well, we are working on breaking 400 million in revenue. That's our next big
Congratulations.
goal.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, that is on the horizon for us. And really just we've built a strong foundation as an organization. We really are in a propelled to growth mode. We're very sales hungry, implementing business very quickly. So we're a machine at this point and having fun. We really are.
That's so awesome to see. Congratulations on all the success. And it's just been
Thank
fun to
you.
watch the journey the whole time and be a small part of it, of course, along the way, just being friends. And personally, let me just say this before we end. I have appreciated you so much, your friendship, your counsel for me. There have been times in my career where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you were like, hey, come, let's talk. And we had great conversations. And I always appreciated your willingness to give your time and your counsel and just being a good friend. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you. You
Yeah.
should be very proud of your career. You've done extremely well.
It's been a wild one. There's no lie. It's been kind of crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. But Lindsay, we've enjoyed having you on the show. Thanks so much for coming on today. I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Trey. Take care.
Absolutely. Everybody out there, make sure you come back tomorrow for Jeff Dickinson. We're going to have a wild conversation. It's going to be fun. And make sure you come back every day for an episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. We'll see you guys listening. Thanks, Lindsay.
Bye, Trey.